Hey Ricky, guess what? It's Vlogmas.
Now I'm fixing you. Couldn't get it on. Now it's on. While you wiggle around. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Advent. Happy Vlogmas, December 7th. I'm Barbara. I had some trouble videoing making my coffee. In that it wasn't, my phone wasn't on for most of it, so I tried to recreate the pouring of the cream, but I'll probably leave that off. Maybe not, because it had puppies wrestling at the end. You couldn't see with them wrestling, but they were wrestling with the alligator that Susan gave them. Well, if you watched my Vlogmas yesterday, which I don't blame you if you didn't because it was super, super long, my Advent came from New Zealand. And I opened 6. It was like Christmas. And I forgot to comment on the paper with the sweaters, the Christmas sweaters on the paper. But I ended up having a lot of nose stuff in the evening last night as I was editing and waiting to render and everything. It was like a regular podcast. It was so long, so I'm sorry about that. This one won't be that long. But I do have my Advents from Susan. Day 7. So just a couple weeks to go. I guess one of the things I have to do, ooh, this is pretty. It's a little blown out because of the... Trying to figure out how to do this. I have to clear off this table again, but now it's full of my Advents for the most part, except for the one box of dog beds that came. Knit Picks City Lights Speckle. Which way is the sun coming in? It's hard to tell. There we go. That's better. Thank you, Susan. That's pretty. Ooh, and it's a package day. From Sandy. She's got snowmen and scarves on her paper. Some of her paper. She has 2 different kinds. Oh my gosh. Two yarns. This is pretty. This is sparkling. And I don't know if these are progress keepers or zipper pulls with that thing on them. I put the other one on a zipper. But here's it's sparkly but it doesn't help to show you to you in the sun. And this one is dark green. That's nice. And this is from River City Yarns. A lady never discusses the size of her stash, her yarn stash. Knit notes. And it's got the Kitchener stitch in the back. That's fun. So just really a knitting notebook to keep track of things. I have stopped putting my stuff on Ravelry. Probably just from laziness. But I last Advent, I got a little notebook from Megan, and I thought I'd do like this little daily journal. Didn't last very long. But I have been doing a journal of sorts since I went strictly back on my diet in July, and I've been keeping track every day of my weight and making some notes about what I ate and stuff. I'm thinking of expanding that. And making it a little bit more of a journal. I'm looking here for the scissors that I used last night because I need them to cut this. I will go get some. And if you didn't watch yesterday, Megans are coming with these wonderful little wooden numbers. And I was thinking in there, you know, inside of a Christmas ball. Although, I suppose if you were using for something other than Christmas, people might not notice that. But I've been a little sad this year that I didn't do any Advent-y thing for my granddaughters. Even like buy them an Advent, you know, Paw Patrol something, or I don't know if they even have such a thing. But they have Advent Harry Potter Lego things. I bet they have things for kids, and I didn't do anything Advent-y. And I want to do something because I enjoy my Advents so much. Oh, this is beautiful. Yarn Junkie. Oh, very pretty. Thank you, guys. Oh. And there's the day 7 other package. I think this is a yarn ball holder, like a yarn snood. It is a yarn snood. And it was made by Auntie Nana. That is Megan's. It's not focusing. Made by Auntie Nana. That's Megan's Instagram. And it's Santa surfing. Well, you know, I mean, the whole thing about Christmas in New Zealand is, I guess Santa must surf. What the heck? Why not? Why wouldn't he? It's so cold up there in the North Pole. He gets down to New Zealand, and it's like, go, baby, go. How cute. Thank you, my dear. Oh, my gosh. This will be so handy for my center pole balls, which I like. How cute. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And I am really going to think about this, but, you know, I'm not making any promises with journaling. Not a good idea to make promises with journaling. So, I was thinking about my tussle with Maisie last night over my Advent. I had it on my lap and everything. And I realized when I watched myself in my editing, I acted just like Isabel does and Sammy does when... No, stop. Instead of actually dealing with it properly. But she was getting in my Advent, and I was excited about my Advent. Dennis was in charge of them at that moment. He didn't know that, but he was. Anyway. I wonder where the turkeys are today. That was hilarious. So I did not... as you can see, get much done in the way of decorating. When Dennis left for D&D, I asked him to move the picture that was on the mantle. We always have to relocate that picture because I decorate the mantle. And I think I'm going to putter with that a little bit today. I'm feeling like I have a lot to do today. I didn't go to the gym yesterday. We made a date. We're going today. So we're going to the gym today. We're going out to dinner tonight. And I don't know what else is going on. So I've got to figure out when I'm going to my parents. The other thing I have to do is, I was going to look this up, but I don't remember. I never could remember the name. The name of this sweater. This is my Rhinebeck sweater. It's from it's from the Pom Pom magazine, the Fall Pom Pom magazine, and I can't remember the name of it. I think it Trove something. I don't know. It's a one word. It doesn't remind me anything of the sweater. And I almost had to write it on my hand at Rhinebeck because I could not remember it at Rhinebeck. But I washed this washed and blocked it yesterday. I just turned it inside out. I am going to start working on, I'm going to watch some Vlogmases, and then I'm going to work on weaving in some ends. I have woven in some ends. I wove in the ones that were going to show at Rhinebeck, and then I tucked the other ones in. So I think I'm gonna work a little bit on my ends today, and I'm going to pull together everything that I have to do for Christmas, which is finish Sammy's sweater. Well, I have 3 people that I'm making gifts for. Sammy, Rich, who's my Behold cross stitch that isn't finished yet. And my daughter Christy has requested more of the bath mitts that I made her last year for Christmas. So that was a big hit. So I was very happy to do that. They were made out of linen. And then I had a stainless steel or copper, thread yarn or whatever you want to call it from Habu, and I incorporated that into one side of it to make it a little bit exfoliating. And so I asked her, which side does she use? Does she use the linen side or the exfoliating side? Because I want to know if I should put some more of that in. And she said the exfoliating side. And she asked me if it could be made so that it didn't stretch out so much or something. I forget what her wording was. I asked her to clarify. And she said that when she wears it, it stretches out and comes off her hand because she wears it like a mitt. She uses it like a mitt. And so I suggested that maybe I should put a thumb hole in it. And she, oh, that's a great idea. So I'll put a thumb hole in it that'll help keep it on her hand. I will also make it a 2x2 rib. And since she likes the exfoliating side, I think I'll make the whole thing exfoliating. It's kind of easier for me. So, but I have to pull those yarns together. I use the Shibui linen. I have a ton of Shibui linen. And so I use, again, the Shibui linen and the Habu metal yarn, whatever. I don't know if I call it yarn or not. But I need to ball up the linen and get that ready, get that organized. And so that I have all my Christmas presents at hand. And that the linen hand mitts, I'll make her 2 or 3, depends on how much time I have, at least 2. Are going to be easy, mindless knitting. I just have to figure out how big I want to make them, and I'm just going to make a rectangle and do a ribbed rectangle and then sew it together and leave a thumb hole. I might make it so that it's a rectangle going like this over the hand and then sew up the sides. So I would leave a thumb hole on both sides so that she could use it on, you know, so both sides of the mitt would be available to her if for one reason or another she preferred one side to the other. I could do that, and if I did that, it would be easier to do one side linen and one side exfoliating. Whatever. I'll show you when I figure it out. All right, and I may start puttering around with the decorating. But the thing, my helpful Christmas decorating hint to you is, and I'm sure I said this last year too, I'm going to go buy like 8 poinsettia plants. If I put 8 poinsettia plants all around in this room and that room, the house is decorated for Christmas. There's nothing like bright red poinsettia plants to make a room look Christmassy. Now, I can only do that because Maisie is not eating plants, but I will keep a very sharp eye on her because, of course, poinsettias are poisonous to pets. And I do not want to poison my puppy. But she hasn't shown any inclination to, you know, eat the plants. So I feel relatively safe. Unless Dennis has a feeling about it, I think it'll be okay. And I'm thinking I'm going to be boring and put my Advents in my blanket because I really have enjoyed working on my blanket and it's getting big and it'd be so much fun to have these in there. And this variety of colors to make it bright. It's very bright. So I think that's what I'm going to do unless I get another bright idea. But I can tell you right now that my vase is already too small. Doesn't fit in my vase, so I will have to have a look around for that other giant vase. I don't remember where it is. Oh, Pearl brought in the alligator. Maze had taken it outside. Pearl brought it in. Thank you, Susan. They love their alligators. Okay, so I guess I will get started with my day. Come here. Come here. Come here, you faces. Yeah. You say hi? Say hi? Yeah. My cuddle girls. My cuddle girls. Yeah, you're my cuddle girls. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're my cuddle girls. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're my cuddle girls. So I'm watching the Crafty Toads, and I am working on my strings. And I'm using the same method that I did before. Is I'm working on all the things that would show. So I'm going to do the bottom of the sleeve here, do the bottom of the other sleeve, and then go back and start working on the other ones. But this way, if I get tired of weaving in ends, I don't know why that would happen. I can't even imagine such a situation. But if I do get tired of weaving in ends, I at least will not have to tuck anything when I wear my sweater tonight. Oh, Dennis's tea's ready. What I meant to show you this morning, what I did yesterday. There's the sheep that I'm doing. Unfortunately, I thought I'd picked a better, higher contrast. And this is as far as I've gotten, but you can see that white. There's white there. Is a not very high contrast to this background, which makes it a little tricky to stitch. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just do the white stitch outline of the sheep all the way around, and then go in and figure out the inside of his body has these little loops of gray to indicate the curls of the sheep, and I will put those in, and then I can just fill in all the white, and that will be that. But Since this is not a Christmas present, my behold is the Christmas present. It's the behold I have to work on first. But it was fun to do yesterday. I needed something. I don't know why. All of a sudden I felt like I needed something, but apparently I did. So I did it. Back to ends. Okay, so I have woven in as many ends as I'm going to weave in, but I did execute my plan so that anything that's left, and believe me, there are plenty. I think I'm going to have to, like, before I put this sweater on, just, you know, weave in a few ends. But all the ends left to be woven in are not anywhere near the neck or the sleeves. I did have to cut some of these a little bit shorter because I had left way too much yarn. And they could have potentially made themselves known through the neck, but that would have been tricky. But anyway, I cut them, so that won't happen now. So I can wear this tonight without worrying about making sure everything is super tucked. But there are plenty of ends left to do. But these, I did a lot of ends. I watched the Crafty Toads, and I watched Kate of Hawthorne Cottage Craft Vlogmas, and I watched Victoria Knits Vlogmas, and I'm watching Craft House Magic Vlogmas now. But since I'm tired of doing ends, I might not watch any more Vlogmases for a while till I figure out what else I'm going to be doing. Right now, I think I'm going to empty the dishwasher. I don't think I'll take you for that little journey. I'll spare you the, you know, chores. Okay, we're leaving the gym. But we're going to next door, which is the health food store, because Dennis is going to make yogurt, and he wants to make it out of raw grass-fed milk this time. So we'll see if they even have such a thing. Here we are. They have all kinds of stuff.
Made chocolate-covered cherries that are
Lots of fruits and veggies. This is where we got the gorgeous ginger. There it is. Gorgeous ginger, which we pickled and turned out amazing. So if you want to do your own pickled ginger to go with your sushi or whatever, this is the place to get it. And nice, beautiful colors. We got some duck eggs here the last time we were here. We didn't really care for the duck eggs, so we won't be getting any more duck eggs, I don't think. They have all kinds of stuff. Lots of all organic, all kinds of stuff. They have raw milk. Yeah, but we're gonna have to pay for those bottles.
Sorry.
We'll exchange them. Is it grass-fed? Oh, good. He's got what he wants. Cool. Here we go. There's some old manufacturing. I think it was a paper mill. There were lots of little paper mills along the Brandywine back in the day. And there we go. It comes in and out, close to the road, not so close to the road. But the Brandywine Creek played a famous part in American history. The Battle of the Brandywine took place south of here about 20 miles. And that was the battle that George Washington lost pretty amazingly and through very poor decision making. And that was the battle he retreated from and ended up at Valley Forge, which is not that far from us and is also quite famous. So that's the Brandywine. I dropped you right in a good section of the river. It's too bad. Anyway, you guys didn't know, but I live in Middle Earth. Give me that alligator, you. You play with your new alligator? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, and there's Dennis coming in the door, but nobody cares. Got the alligator.
I asked Dennis to be my videographer so I could show you my Rhinebeck sweater, which I finally blocked. So the sleeves are long enough, it's long enough, and no ends show, although there are plenty keeping me warm on the inside. But I wanted you to see my sweater. That's it. Okay, so we're getting ready to go out for dinner, so I'm going to sign off and say Happy Vlogmas, Day 7, December 7th, and I will see you tomorrow. Happy crafting!